Who's washing all the headstones.
On attend les fleurs.
It's 194th Glider Infantry Regiment. Held on January 9th. This was the grave of Cindy's dad's lieutenant. Their dad's second lieutenant.
In the wood, which was the objective of the Easy Company. They opened fire. They opened fire with the machine guns, mortar and artillery. Lieutenant Teleska was leading the attack with his 2nd platoon. And he was hit by a shrapnel. The shrapnel hit his phosphorus grenade, which exploded, and he burned it to death. In the very morning of the attack, so a few times before the launching of the attack, that's the first time that the guys of this unit received a incoming mail, and he was quite happy to learn that he was just a father, and he died 2 hours after. And Anne Teleska, who is his daughter, is still alive, and she's here today by mine.
The 15th of December 1944, somewhere around there. And he was assigned to my squad, and he was with our squad on January 7th. And he and I were in the trees and running down a trail, and the machine gun fire opened up, and we dodged to the ground in a trail created by wheels of a wagon or a car or truck or whatever had been going through the current. And the machine gun fire opened. I dived. He was behind me a few feet, and he also was on the ground. He jumped up and was going to run forward. And when he got about even to me, they drilled him, and he fell forward. Now this, and he was dead. Now this says he died on the 9th of January. I saw him die on January 7th about dusk, and they probably didn't pick him up for a couple of days. But he fell on January 7th. I can tell you that because I saw it happen. And he probably took bullets that I should have had, but I'm here to tell you about it.
We're glad you didn't take it.
He was a young lad, and probably I was the only one in the whole company, platoon, or squad that really knew. And there he is, right here. So you want me to place this at here? Okay. Yes, sir. Put it on. Okay. That's about all I can tell you about this fine young man. Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Platoon. He wasn't in his platoon, but at the very last moment, he was attached to the platoon, and he was hit by a machine gun bullet right in the belly, and he was bleeding quite severely. But he was still leading the man and encouraging them and giving his instructions. So he was dying at the same moment. He was also leading the guys, and he was wounded in action, and he died one day after, on January the 8th.
Okay. I have no recall of him at all. So I salute the man. We did not have a tech sergeant that I know of, so he was probably brought in because our platoon sergeant was disabled. My squad leader sergeant was disabled, and our mortar sergeant was killed just instantly early in the morning.
Maybe wait a little bit more here so you can tell the story of Garrow.
The sand. This is from Omaha Beach.
Really?
To highlight the names.
I will place this flower, and with the help of my son Dan, you will place it for me. That rose for Daryl Tidball, and probably I'm more emotional about this than the others. Tidball was a young farm lad from the southern part of Kansas, and he and I were in the same platoon. I knew him quite well. When we were in England, we had two of these small tents for half of our squad was in one one platoon, and he was in there with me, along with the assistant squad leader, and a fellow named Sweet, and John. I'm missing his name right now, but always fearful and pessimistic about going into that. He worried very much about it because he didn't think he could survive. He was a meek, sort of wild person. And the last night, January 6th, 1945, he and I shared a foxhole together. So at 4 o'clock in the morning or so, we got up. I don't think he slept well all night. He says, I know I'm going to die. And I said, Gerald, we got to hope for the best and pray for the best. And so we got up into the woods on Dead Man's Ridge, and a whole batch of artillery was being fired, and it was moving kind of forward, and I said, Gerald, we got to get out of here. Let's move. And Gerald said one place is as good as another. He stayed, I moved, and a shell landed just about where my head was, or between us, and that was the end of his life. About 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock on January 7th, he was the first death I saw up there. And while the last death I saw up there was Miller at about dusk. He was one of the early ones. So he was well known to me, and certainly a gentleman, fine person who lost his life on January 7th.
How old was he?
I do not know how old he was. He was probably 20 in that territory. And I salute my friend Gerald Tickle.
Handed it.
Yeah.
That's better.
So I'm gonna be talking when you said I guess.
This grave is all by itself.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to imagine. What a very peaceful, beautiful area. Our group laid flowers at 43 graves of 17th Airborne. Just our small group. Our larger group acknowledged over 200 graves. It's another section listing A through K, all of the names of all the veterans who laid to rest here. These folks are looking at Patton's grave. It's the monument again. I held the service in there, but we had way too many people to fit in there. They do an incredible job maintaining this place.
Matter of fact, the location where Day Turner, who was one of our Medal of Honor recipients, was awarded his Medal of Honor for his actions on the very first day of the Battle of the Bulge, as he defended a crossroads from a farmhouse and held the entire German 5th SS Panzer Army back for 9 hours, 9 men. This young boy saw that action because he was living at home at the time. He was placed in the basement by Sergeant Turner and his squad. He would survive, both Sergeant Turner and the young boy would survive his action. And 40 years ago, in conjunction with a man named Elin Cole out of Maine, who owned Cold Express, which is today was sold out to another transport company, started the U.S. Veterans Friends of Luxembourg. And for 40 years, what the U.S. Veterans Friends of Luxembourg have been doing is acknowledging the commitment and sacrifice that American soldiers did in World War II. The carillon that you heard play the music today was purchased by the U.S. Veterans Friends of Luxembourg. The very first golf cart purchased for any ABMC cemetery was purchased by the U.S. Veterans Friends of Luxembourg. And they make one major purchase for our cemetery every year. On Memorial Day, they'll place one red rose on all 5,076 of our crosses. And they conduct what they call porch-to-porch visits for American veterans and their families throughout the year, including bringing families back from Memorial Day. This organization gives each returning veteran who fought here at the Battle of the Bulge a book that's written in 3 languages. The Luxembourg, it's called the Medal of Honor for Luxembourg in appreciation for the liberation of Luxembourg. Let me explain something about Luxembourg and its liberation. Luxembourg went through an occupation much more different than France and Belgium. That's because Germans believed Luxembourgs were always German. When Luxembourg got its independence, one of the few countries that said it should be independent were the Germans. So when the Germans occupied French and Belgium, they were allowed to keep their language. Luxembourgers lost. Anyone with a French name was changed to German. Wearing a French beret cost you 1 day in jail. The entire history of Luxembourg is wiped out. All of the Luxembourg teachers were replaced by Germans, and every single Luxembourger between the ages of 18 to 23 was deported into Germany, went to fight on the Eastern Front, or did work in the factories of Germany. And that happened twice. Percentage-wise, if you take percentage-wise, so Luxembourg is a small country. No country lost more of its civilian population in World War II than Luxembourg did. So they are very, very conscious of what liberation for them meant. They were occupied for a long time. Luxembourgers support this cemetery incredibly, incredibly well. We get about anything we want. When we call the Grand Duke and say we want a ceremonial cannon battery, we get the ceremonial cannon battery that's reserved for the Grand Duke and Grand Duchess. What this organization does, as I said before, it will give one of their books to each veteran, the medal and the certificate, and that's what we're here for today. We're going to present our the Luxembourg medal to our 2 veterans, and then I understand there are family members from 3 other veterans who couldn't make it today, and we're going to present the medal for you to take back to your family member. So we'll go ahead and get started. This is what the medal looks like. It's called the Luxembourg Medal of Liberation. It's from the U.S. Veterans Friends of Luxembourg. It's made of solid silver.
Very nice. Beautiful.
And behind it, it states, "Thank you, America, for our liberation." It's a medal that's been authorized by the Department of Defense to wear on a U.S. service member's uniform. So they've really gone out of their way to make this not only to make it right. The book that we're going to give to people today is called the 10th anniversary of the U.S. Veterans Friends of Luxembourg, the grateful nation remembers. And as I told you, it's written in 3 different languages. It's written in English, Luxembourgish, and French, in French. Each of our veterans will get to take one of those home today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Austin Steen, is Austin here today, or the representative from his family? I'd like to go ahead and present you with this certificate. It says a Medal of Honor awarded to Austin Steen in recognition of his selfless service and brave achievements during World War II. And sir, we'd like to present you with this Luxembourg Medal of Honor. And thank you for your contributions during World War II.
Thank you.
Thank you. John Corman, or representative, family member?
Jared.
I'll leave the books here, and you can just pick them up on because they're quite heavy. Sir, we'd like to present, is your father?
No, I'm not actually a blood relative.
Okay.
His daughter had to,
Okay.
cancel on his father's.
On his behalf, we'd like you to accept this for him. And of course, this is the Medal of Honor awarded to John Corman in recognition for his selfless service and achievements during World War II.
It's my honor to accept, and I'll take good care of it and get it to him.
All right, if you give him this handshake for us, we'd appreciate
I
it.
certainly will. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Daniel Shipago? No? You're going to do it for him?
Yep.
Okay. You've been through this before.
Indeed.
Okay. Again, to Daniel Shipigo in recognition of his selfless service and brave achievements during World War II.
Thanks for
his,
your-
yep.
Thank you.
Tell him we're appreciative and
I will
thankful.
do. Thank you.
Lynn Ayes. Sir, once again, the Medal of Honor, Luxembourg Medal of Honor awarded to yourself in recognition for your selfless service and your brave achievements during World War II.
Thank
The
you
country of
very
Luxembourg is
much.
very appreciative.
I accept it with great pleasure. And where would I wear this?
You'd wear this on your medal badge. It'd be the very last one because it's a foreign medal. So in precedence, it doesn't. It's the lowest level medal, and it can't go above
Not the
American.
lowest level.
No, it's the highest level, but according to military doctrine, because it's a foreign level,
Yeah.
it's worn on the bottom.
Thank you very
bottom row.
much.
You're welcome. Last one is to John Schumacher. We've met Joe Schumacher, was it last year? Year before? 112. He's as tall as his son. Well, you won't see him. Give this to your dad for us. Tell him we appreciate everything he did. Everything he did for us. And he's already got the book, I believe. All right. There you go. Thank you. We also have cap pins for each of our veterans. From the
Thank
U.S.
you.
Veterans Friends of Luxembourg.
Thank you.
Does your dad have
One thing, John
yours?
Corman.
And there's one more.
I'm here. Thank you, Scott.
Does anyone have any questions on the cemetery itself, what you've seen today? Let me remind people that when you walk in our cemetery, keep in mind that this is only 32% of the soldiers who were here after World War II. The cemetery was 4 times larger than you see today. 68% of American servicemen returned back home. The U.S. government gave every family one of 2 options: repatriation of the body back to America at no cost to the family, or keep the bodies here in our cemeteries and memorials, in which case we promise to maintain these sites in the high standard, but we hope you see these high standards that you saw today. So for those of you who have friends, comrades who are here, be assured that we're going to take care of them forever. And they'll always be honored, revered, and remembered. Thank you for.
On behalf of our group and all of us, I'd like to thank you for your time today and for what you do to keep these people.
I'll let my crew know, because I don't push a lawnmower. But
Thanks very much.
Well,
Thank you. Thank you.
Bill Scholars, that's a Jewish tradition. When you see us.
Reset. On.
These are cadets from the Citadel that were here and have asked us to watch their ceremony that they're going to have here at the cemetery. They're singing, but I'm not sure you can hear it. Graduates that died in the war? Are they buried here?
Yes.
Are you related to any?
Not me.
This is where we couldn't get into before, where they started the service. Ceiling up here. Wow. The entry gate. Very impressive. We're in the town of Hosingen, which is in Luxembourg, right near the Luxembourg-German border. And in the park here are some plaques. This one's honoring these two fellows who gave their lives to liberate the town. Some more plaques in the same park.
Come on the bus.
It's one of those days.
And finally, the last plaque.
So, is everybody here? Close to here?
Dedicated to the 17th Airborne.
Je vais leur expliquer comment se sont passés les combats au 17e. So, non mais c'est mieux de le faire ici. So, does everybody understand or just hear me?
Loud, loud. So, we are right here in the village of Hossingen. You have here plaques and monuments dedicated to several other units. They fought here at the very beginning of the Battle of the Bulge. Sorry. And so, mid-December, several US units tried to slow down the German attack, but unfortunately they had to retreat. And in the late January and early February 1945, the 17th Airborne was here fighting and took over the position. I mean, they took over the position from the Germans, because the Germans were retreating. So the 194th and 193rd came this way, down this road. When you take this road, you are going to Wiltz. Wiltz is the place where all the guys of the 17th Airborne is being placed on reserve for a few days to re-equip and to receive a replacement. So they came this way, and the attack toward Ossingen was led by the 193rd. At this very same moment, the 513 was more to the north, maximum 1 mile, because all the area here was under all the area here was taken by the 17th Airborne. So 193rd and then the 513, much more to the north. It's not so far away because the front at that time wasn't wide. So wasn't so wide as in the Ardennes, in the Gulf. And so in the very morning of January the 7th, the 193rd came this way and took this crossroad. And the goal was to reach the Hour River, which is flowing down the hill this way. The 139th Airborne Engineer Battalion was following the 193rd. So they took over the position here, and they helped mostly to make the area safe of mine. So free of mine. So
This is the intersection he's referring to that was subject of a large battle with the 17th Airborne, which ended on January 27th, 1945.
Curtis Gadd is right behind the door, and John Schumacher also. So you are all together here, the veterans of the 17th Airborne who came back thanks to your association. This is a place for you forever. This is the memory wall.
It's a long thing. Yeah, that's very good. I got one.